Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the GW Panther. It's the Tier 7 German SPG. This one's located on the east side of Paris and it's under the command of talon1958. Yes, after featuring 3 replays by his partner, we're now going to feature 3 replays by talon1958. All in the GW Panther. Now, it's actually based on the Panther hull, but it's not the original Panther. It's not the one with the supercharger. The Germans, apparently, according to Wargaming, we're actually going to fit the standard Panther engine, but not the supercharger, which means that this vehicle is nowhere near as fast as a standard Panther. Okay, well, Talon's just spotted an enemy Wolverine, got tracked, and he's been wiped out by that shot. So he's now going to go for the Challenger, who's sitting up on that burn. Rounds out. Oh, so close. Now he's changing position, although he's only moving forward slightly. And it's one of the problems with the Paris map, is there's not a lot of places you can hide when playing Arty. I know tank drivers won't be particularly worried about that, but if you're an Arty player, it does make it very much more difficult to survive when there's so few hiding places. Now, he can get a shot into that position for the M4A1, but he's pulled back, trying to get a shot down onto the bridge area. Unfortunately, he's got a red line at the moment, so he can't shoot in that direction either. He is almost up into the top corner, so he's decided to do the best thing. The alternative is aim for this bush. There's not a tank destroyer behind it. And okay, well, the shell exploded, but that doesn't necessarily mean there wasn't anyone there. There might have been somebody there. And they didn't get hit, but they'd still get splashed. Okay, he's about to hit a KV-1S who just got... Oh, he's just been killed, actually. In fact, we seem to be doing rather well. And he's now spotted a Rudy right down at the end of this road. Now, that guy's engaged with a shooting match with a 40 TP down at our end. And unfortunately, that shell hit the building. So he didn't get anything off that one. He might need to move forward or change his target. Yep, there's 2 tanks there. The KV-1 much better target in this case. Because... well, he wasn't moving, but he is now. Going for the CS-44, rounds out. Well, he's still got splash. 93 hit points is something. Okay, he wants some more. CS-44 is kind of hiding in that corner, and it's too late for him. He's out the game. Okay, the Challenger is now being threatened by our IKV-90B, so we're going to launch him around in there. See if we can help the IKV-90. Fires the round in. The 90B was taken out, so we tried to help, but it was a bit too late. But the Challenger did get stunned anyway. Now that M4 is somewhere in the vicinity. We're 2 tanks up on the enemy. There is a Super Hellcat on that corner, so he might have been hit by that last shell. Rounds out. Or one of the shells. That definitely damaged him. There's still 2 enemy Arties in this game. And I think that Talon's now decided that since it's now all closing in on the enemy, he's decided to get moving, get closer to the enemy so he can get a more direct hit on them and avoid being counter-battery, because they're not likely to see him or spot him. Okay, he's now going to have another go at that M4A1. He's sitting on that corner, dialing in. Rounds out. Oh, unfortunately, he's actually on the road beneath, so we missed out on that one. And in fact, an enemy Type 64 has come in very close, and he's been spotted by the Type 64. It's to your left. There he is. Okay, we've loaded. Now, can he kill this Type 64? He's going to have to do it by shotgun. Get ready. You might need to auto-aim. He's going to try and do it manually. The Type's probably going to fire at him. Oh, unfortunately, he doesn't get a hit. And he's taken 2 rounds from the Type. but he ducks into cover as quickly as he can. He's now got a fairly long reload, 21 seconds, but he might get some help from his teammates, or maybe not. Yeah, they're all up the other end, but he's going to reload. Get close, get hits. Yes! Nicely done. He gets a kill right at the end, and that's the end of the game. Let's have a look at the end of battle results. Well, that was a very satisfactory end to that game. Talon1958 managed to get a bruiser medal after that one. He got at least 5 critical hits. He got 5 exactly. And his win rate for the battle was 660, which is, well, nothing really to write home about. But I think that last shot said it all. Shotgunning the Type 64, killing the last enemy tank with a shotgun at fairly close range. If you can see the whites of your eyes, let him have it. And he did. He let rip, and that Type 64 went back to the garage with a loss. Anyway, let's have a look at team score and see where he stood. Yeah, he's about mid-table on damage, 569. The high scorer was the KV1S on our team, 1779. Second highest damage in the game was actually the KV2 on our team, 1719. So yes, he did have fairly low on damage, bit mid-table anyway. When it came to kills, the high scorers had 3 kills each, 2 kills for that group there, and Talon managed to get the 1, but it was the important one right at the end of the game to finish the game off and make sure that the guy who was trying to attack him and had already got some of his hit points was denied a victory. And when it came to base XP, he's mid-table yet again. So yes, not so great, but that's because really it's such a difficult map to play for Arty. Let's have a look at detail. He only fired 9 shots in the game, but he got 1 direct hit and 1 penetration on the enemy, and it killed him. And when it came to credits, he did get 80,000 for completing a mission, and he actually went away with 88,193 credits, which means he would have earned 8,193 even if he didn't receive that mission completion bonus. He got 30 bonds. And 744 for the battle, times 2 for the first victory, or yes it is, yep. And he took away 1,488 experience points altogether. So a very satisfactory end to that battle. Let's have a look at the second replay. The second battle is on the defense of Ghost Town Assault. And we've got no sound. Yet again, Wargaming, why are you letting us down? These replays need to have sound. That's better. Fix your program. Okay, we'll speed this up so that the battle starts. There we go. All they need to do is do a patch so these replays work first time with sound. Never had a problem with it in the past, but Wargaming just refuses to do anything to fix their programming, just as much as they refuse to fix their matchmaking, and just as much as they then pander to the lies and the crying of the people who've been hit by Arty. Oh, dudums. Well, Talon is aiming for the hill on the south end of the map. He's expecting an enemy tank to turn up there sometime soon. I know when I'm playing this map and I'm on the assault, I'll make for the top areas here because you can shoot down on the enemy in the town. And somebody's turned up because, yes, we just suddenly saw some defences disappear. And he stunned that Scorpion G just before he opened fire. Okay, he's changing position. Again, it does help to move sideways and take a new position so that you don't allow the enemy to get an idea of exactly whereabouts you might be. It's so very important because, especially if you are paying attention, nowadays you can know the general vicinity of the enemy Arty and lob a shell in there just in the hope that you might upset him. Rounds out, looks good. Yes, very good. Direct hit, or right next door to him for 248. Excellent shooting, but you expect that from Talon because he allows the aim to dial in before he fires the shell out of the breach. Okay, this time round he's got a Progetto, and there was another enemy tank up there as well. Oh, okay, we've got an Easy 8 and a 14 TP. Goes for the easy... Sorry, it's not easy 8, it's an E2, the Super Jumbo. Or did he? Yes, he did hit the E2. This time around for 123. Well, the reason for that he got a reduced amount was because, of course, the E2 has heavy armour on the front of the vehicle. And if you hit the front, you won't damage it as much as you would other tanks. Should say it's not a Super Jumbo, it's a Sherman Jumbo, but you all know that, don't you? Fired one in blind there at the SU-130PM. Sometimes it does pay to fire blind shots. You never know if you might actually land a shell on the enemy tank and then suddenly wake up a few seconds later and realise that yes, you got a kill. You'd be surprised the number of times I've actually killed an enemy tank destroyer who was hiding in a bush or in an obvious position, and I just lobbed a shell in there and got them unawares, even set fire to them. Now he's actually moving further up to the north because the enemy is actually getting quite close down in the south, so we're going to need to move just to avoid getting taken out. That Scorpion's getting very close. He's backing up, fires around in, blind shots. Well, it landed near him, that's for sure. We know where that Scorpion is now anyway. And the next target is an IS-2M, which of course is the IS-2 with the extended rear. Bounce out. Oh, it hit obstruction before it reached the target. I think it hit the top of the building. Okay, we've got an SU-130PM up on this side as well at the moment. And they've located the position via the minimap. And there he is. Okay, so let's try and get around on top of him. He's got very thin armour. Rounds out. Lands behind him. Okay, there's the Scorpion G just around the corner. We know he's on that corner, so Talon's going to dial in, get it very accurate. He's probably just trying to hide on that corner, fire a shot, and then pull back behind it. Rounds out. Oh my god, he got a blind kill! He took out the Scorpion G with a blind kill, and the AMX AC-48 was impressed with that one. He got a thumbs up. And we're now 3 tanks up on the enemy. Lovely blind kill. It does work sometimes. You know an enemy's there. You think an enemy's there. You fire around in and you take care of business. Okay, looks like one of those enemy tanks, the LTG, is going to try and come around the base of the hill. Talon's aware of that. Okay, he's got a T-29 who's coming up on this corner. The enemy's 2 tanks down, and they've got 4 minutes 24 seconds left to go. Talon's about to shoot on this T-29. That was the other Arty. There's 2 Arty on his team. The other one's an M44. It looks like the T-29 has decided he can't do anything. And in fact, actually, the T-29 was waiting for those guys to go around the corner so he could then kill them. In fact, actually, it wasn't him. It was the M12 on his team killed the Samur. And a Progetto 54 killed the P43 Biz. There's the LTG that we saw earlier trying to go around the base of the hill. Rounds out. And that landed right next door to him. And it wasn't the only shell that landed there. The M44 landed as well. The enemies managed to claw back 2 kills. But they're running out of time. And at this rate, they won't be there in time. They won't have enough kills to make the difference. Now there's still 1 enemy tank up this end. They just got a kill in the town. There's the E2. There's another E2 on their team. Talon managed to land that one over the top, but the AC-48 gets him this time. Okay, we're going back to the North Hill. The LTG's hiding behind the rock, and he's not going to be able to do much from there. I think he's trying to snipe at people, but the VK-32M's going around the corners, managed to get some damage on him already, and there's the kill. So the enemy has gone back to being one tank down. Talon's decided he can move south now because the threat from the enemy has dissipated on that south end of the map, but there's still some enemy tanks in the town. It also helps to be further away from your teammates if they're also an Arty, because you don't want to have too many tracers coming out the same spot, because it makes it very obvious to the enemy exactly where you are. Progetto 54 going up to the south, to the north end. Here we go. You had to fire that one blind. The VK's decided to pull back, and with good reason. We're coming up to the 2-minute mark, and if he pulls back, he'll give him a killing zone before the Progetto can actually get to him. So all they need to do is stay in a hold down position, and Talon's going to lob some shells onto them. Okay, there's the enemy Arty. He's been spotted. One of the enemy Arties, the M12. In fact, it's the last enemy Arty. The rest have all been killed. He's fired a round in and got a direct hit onto the side of the vehicle for 261, but unfortunately it didn't kill him, and our teammate in the EBR Hotchkiss has been killed, so we won't know where he is unless we look for the tracer. But they're running out of time. They've got 1 minute 20 seconds left, and I don't think they're going to do this. They've got too few tanks to do it. They've still got 5 tanks in the game, but... And another hit. 181 this time. They're running out of time. I suspect that T-29 might try and dive into the cap area. But they're in the last minute now, and Talon's almost loaded. He's going to go for try and get a splash on that E-25, but he doesn't need to worry, because the E-25 is taken out of the game by the Waffenträger. So here's the T-29, and there's the IKV-65-2. He's wiped out. And the enemy are now down to just 2 tanks, 2 heavy tanks, and no chance of getting them to cap at the same time, because there's the Progetto just moving through the frame now, but he's going after AC-48. Direct hit on his engine bay by Talon. Nice snapshot. And our Strib's trying to get a shot on the T-29, but he's very low on hit points now. If he comes around that corner, Talon will have him, but there's 2 seconds left. And that's it, the clock's run out, they've won. Here's the end of battle results. It was the second class tanker for talon1958 in the GW Panther. He got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in this one. He got 6. His win rate was reasonably good, in fact very good actually, 2,382, which is very, very good. And that's about it. I mean, only a second class tanker, no medals, but he did get that blind kill on the Scorpion. Let's have a look at the team scores. Well, we can see when it came to damage, he was 3rd on his team, and actually he was 4th overall, because the enemy Scorpion actually did manage to get more hit points than Talon did. But I don't think he needs to worry about that, because it was a good game. The high score was the AMX AC-48. The guy who was impressed by Talon's blind shot. He got 2,437 hit points. The next high score after that was, I think, if I'm correct, is that 1860? 1865. Actually, the next high scorer was the Scorpion G with 1865, and then we got 1860 for the M44, who was working very, very hard. He got a Confederate in that game, despite the fact that he got 2 kills as well. And Talon managed to get the 4th highest damage with 1,807. When it came to kills, it was shared by the AMX AC-48 and the Progetto 54. They both had 4 kills apiece. And the next high scorers were the M44, the Striv S1, the Steel Waffenträger, and the LTG on the enemy team, all with 2 kills each. And then we finally got Talon in joint 3rd position with only 1 kill. When it came to base XP, he's in 3rd place though, because the M44 got the highest with 874, the AMX AC-48 managed to get 860, and then we got Talon with 710. He fired 14 rounds in this game, got 4 direct hits, 1 penetration and 13 splash, damage of 1,807 hit points. He earned 34,554 for the battle, 50,000 for completing a mission, and even if you take that off for the completing the mission, he still ends up with a profit of 18,874 credits for the game. 1,065 XP times 2 for the first victory, 2,130 experience points altogether. I think that game is well summarised by a blind kill on the Scorpion. I think that really goes quite well with the shotgun kill of the Type 64 in the previous battle. But let's have a look at the third replay and see how Talon gets on in that one. The third replay is on the north spawn of Overlord. Game on. Well, it's a 15cm howitzer on the GW Panther, and it's capable of doing 600 alpha, 39mm of penetration, and you can see that Talon's only loaded the standard HE, which has stun, and even with reduced damage you can still do a lot of damage to the enemy. But the more important thing is you can get stun assist. If you were to use these new shells that Wargamers come up with, you wouldn't get any stun at all off that shell, and you probably wouldn't get any damage if you didn't get a direct hit with that shell. And the first target he sees is a wheelie somewhere in those bushes. In fact, we're seeing a thunderbolt trying to make his way across. Direct hit right on the nose. 294. He's certainly going to be very upset about that, but it's his own fault. You don't try to cross the bowl so early in a battle because you're more than likely going to take some damage. Okay, we're loaded again. The IS-3A is on the beach, so we can't do anything about him, but that AMD 178B, he actually decided to go into that bush straight away. In fact, we saw him right at the start, and he got a direct hit. No explosions, so we know that he hit the AMD right on the money again. 2 direct hits on the enemy. Now I've noticed there's 2 heavies on the east side of the map. That's very unusual. You don't normally see 2 heavies up this area. Normally it's lights and mediums on this side. Heavies go down to the beach or they fight it out on the cliff tops. But heavy tanks ending up on this side of the map is actually quite ominous, because they're a little more difficult to stop if they make a charge up this end. What it does tell us though is that the enemy is fairly light on the beach and the cliff tops areas, and we don't appear to have anybody on the cliff tops at all. And whenever I play this map, I always, if I'm in a tank, I like to play the cliff tops area, and if I'm in an Arty, I like to aim at the guys on this side, because these are the ones that win the battle. If you can stop the enemy in the field, leave the beach to themselves, whoever wins the beach is going to come back up to the field in order to win, and usually if they try to do that they get hammered. That guy's just got tracked. KB3's vulnerable. Direct hit. 161. Nice. So he's had 3 direct hits on the enemy so far. Although there's only 2 showing because the AMD 178B was not spotted at the moment the shell went in, but we know he touched him because there was no explosion whatsoever. Talon's just relocating a little bit to avoid counter battery, but he's also thinking about if he needs to run and make his way down to the cliff top. Going for the KB3 again, rounds out, this looks good. Very close, right in front of him for 67. Okay, we've got an enemy CS44, which is one of those Polish mediums, and he's near that spotting rock, but he's not right on the edge yet. Okay, the rock is actually blocking our shot, but this guy's come over the edge. T78, lead him. That's out. Splashes him for 38, but unfortunately it's drawn his attention to us, and I think he's a little miffed that he got hit. So Talon can't move to the west now, because if he does, he'd go directly in front of that T78. So instead he's now positioning himself behind these buildings to give him some cover, and the T78's gone, so now he can relocate in peace. But at the moment he doesn't need to. Well, there's still only one tank in it. The enemy does seem to have the bowl. And their AMD, the one that we hit... Oh my god, look at that. He's missing virtually all of his hit points. And he's taken out the game by the T-3485M. Now, I suspect that Talon actually did take away most of his hit points because he's got very thin armour. And I think there's a very good chance that Talon's got a big score off that AMD. And we'll have to look at that at the end of the game in the end of battle results. As I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I always like to announce to the team that I've killed the vermin if I manage to kill the enemy Arty. We just noticed one of the enemy Arty is down this end of the map. He's not in this corner though. I noticed he's actually over by the houses. Talon's waiting for him to fire. Oh no, he's decided to go anyway. I think you'll find he's actually over by the house. But he's pulling back because there's two enemy tanks looking for him. A Scorpion, that's the tier 8 Scorpion, the German one, the alternative one. And the other one's a Hellcat. And there's a CS-44, the one that was at the spotting stone, and he's actually moved off that now and he's near the buildings. Talon's going to go for the Hellcat. He's probably the easier target at the moment. Dialing in. Almost ready. Looks good. Lands short, hits the ridgeline. We saw one of the shells from the enemy Arty coming from a bit further to the west of the than the house, and again he's moved back behind the barns and the tree to give him a bit of cover. I think that's more to provide him with cover for the CS-44. Now we do have a Wizzy nearby. He might spot that CS-44 hiding behind the house. He's not there. Oh, he is there. He's just been spotted. And the enemy Arty has now been found. It was the GW Panther. He's missing hit points, which means Talon might have actually hit him. Line him up, rounds out. Oh, he's changing direction. You see, that's exactly what I meant about changing direction. Moving sideways, it falls the enemy into where you're actually located. Oh, and he's been killed. The Super Hellcat just killed the GW. The CS-44 has just been wiped out by the T-3485. But that Scorpion might still be there on the bowls, so we need to be careful about that. And he might have been joined by a Hellcat. He's got a bush between him and the enemy. Talon's going for the aim. Okay, the Scorpion moved down to the cliff top area. There he is. Nice. He can do this. Work out where he's going. He stopped for a brief second. Well, two Arties struck him. Talon managed to get 82, but he got 119 stun assists the moment afterwards. So that, I think that was the second shot, which came from our teammate in the corner. Okay, we're going down to the cliff tops over here. We've got a MX-5100, a Samur SM. He's going for that spot there, rounds out. It explodes, so we didn't hit him, but I think we may have landed it next to him. I would expect to see the AMX-5100 with some stun on him at the moment. All the tanks that were on the beach have now come up at the enemy end, actually. There was only two left. It looks like the enemy managed to pull back and they're now trying to attack over the cliff top. Rams out. Well, that didn't hit. Yes, I think the enemy's proving to us that it does actually work if you hunt or if you attack over the cliff tops area or in the field rather than actually going down to the beach, because all but one of our tanks that attacked on the beach has now been killed. Only the 45 TP left, and he's about to be surrounded by a bunch of enemy tanks. Yeah, we've got a Scorpion moving down to intercept him. And he's changed his mind. He's going up the other chime where there's an Arty. Meanwhile, Talon's lost any targets. There's nobody spotting for us other than the Super Hellcat. The T-34 is way too close to us. And we just lost the Super Hellcat to their S-51. We're down to 4 now. And I don't think we're going to win this one. The 45 TP's made a bit of a boo-boo going up down to the beach. The enemy Arty's not there. And now the 45 TP's got to run the gauntlet of coming up the chine, but being shot at by this AMX 1375 in the process. And the Hellcat gets taken out by the 45 TP, but he hasn't killed that AMX 1375 yet. And yes, he goes back to the garage by the S51. So now it's just one medium tank, the T-34-85M, and two Artys left. And here comes the enemy, emboldened by their kills. Oh, just slightly to one side. That was RNG, I'm afraid. Dispersion. The Scorpion did take a hit from our teammate behind us, the M12. But the Scorpion's still coming, and he has spotted us. We've auto-aimed on, but was not loaded, and I think the Scorpion, was taking aim. Yeah, when he stops to take aim like that, get into cover quick. I'm going to say go down by the houses, but I think this one is a loss. Well, the Scorpion's bit the dust. I think he's about to get right royally rogered. Yep, he's gone. Well, at least he got some splash damage on the 1375, but I think this is going to be the end of the game now. Yep, KV85 is coming in for the kill. And the kill shot, yep, has been played. Here's the end of battle stats, and in that game it was a third class tanker for talon1958 in the GW Panther. He got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits, he got 10, and he got a Confederate medal because he hit more of the enemy than anyone else on his team, at least 6 tanks subsequently taken out by other teammates. And if we look at the team score, we can see that he's actually second on his team on damage, but not second overall because there were 4 enemy players who managed to score more damage than he did. So he's actually in 6th place overall. Yes, get that right. 6th place overall. The highest scorer in the game was the IS-3A with 2,616 hit points of damage. The second was the T-34-85M, who I wrongly accused of actually sitting at the back doing nothing. He was doing something. He got 2,184 hit points of damage. And the third highest damage was the Samur SM with 1,706. And we can see that Talon managed to get 1,490 hit points of damage from the game. When it came to kills, it was the T-34-85M and the S-51, both got 3 kills each. Super Hellcat got 2, so did the AMX-50-100 and the KV-85. Talon didn't get any kills, but that actually helped him to get the Confederate medal. When it came to base XP, it's the enemy team who do the best. The IS-3A got the tops with 996, then came the KV-85 with 823, and finally the CS-44 got 730. Talon got 337 from that game. He fired 14 rounds in the game, got 3 direct hits, 1 penetration, 8 splash, and damage of 1,490 hit points in total on a premium account. And it's not going to be premium for very long, although he does have some time still to run, because of course we're not going to be buying premium anymore as Arty, simply in protest that Wargaming's changes to Arty. He made a profit of 11,067 credits, and he got the Achievements Award because he managed to get a medal in a losing or drawn game. It was a losing one, this one. He also earned 337 XP for the battle, 214 for the Achievements Award, 1,654 from personal reserves, took away 2,481 experience points altogether. So he did get something out of the game, and of course he did score very nicely, which shows his talent. And the thing is that Talon is very good at playing Arty. He's very accurate with his shells, and that's because he takes the time and the patience to actually dial in on a target and make sure it counts. Now, we did say we'd actually check and see how much damage he did to that AMD 178B. You remember, during the battle, we said we hit him, 621 hit points of damage from one shot on the target. Yep, it hit the target, it penetrated. As you can see here, it's got a 1 against it. Yeah, it did go through his armor, and yeah, that's a big damage. That was a high roll on this gun, because remember it's 600 alpha, so he got 621. He got a high roll on him. That could not have made that AMD 178B very happy, but there you go. If you play the vermin, you will be exterminated. So I hope you enjoyed all 3 of those replays, and thanks very much to Town for sending them in. If you did, please give these videos a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.